Hey everyone, and welcome to today's video. I hope everyone's been enjoying their week so far, and thank you so much for tuning in today. This week's video is going to be a Q&A from all the questions that you guys have asked me in that how to break your glove in video. I got a bunch of questions, so first off, I just wanted to say thank you so much for the questions, you guys. I truly appreciate it and helping me make today's video. Before we get into that, if you're new to my channel, my name is Jordan. I post weekly uploads, and I greatly appreciate if you hit that subscribe button and give this video that thumbs up if you like it. And for my returning subscribers, thank you so much for the support, you guys. I really do appreciate it. Before I get started there, I just want to let everyone know all these questions, there's no specific order. It's just at complete random. So let's get started. First question's from MattFast32. If you had a chance to get your mask custom painted, what would you choose as far as graphics and drawings? And why? So for this one, I actually gave it quite a bit of thought. I'm pretty sure I'm leaning towards getting like 2 flyer logos painted on the side of it, just for the fact matching my team. I'm a huge Canucks fan, and if I was on that Canucks team in our league, I would definitely have Canucks blasted all over my helmet. But I really just wanted to stay matching, and I know I'm going to be on this team for quite a while, so I think that would look pretty good. Alright, so next question's from Hawkeye Goalie. What kind of off-ice training / workouts do you do? So for me, my off-ice training, it's not a ton, but I'd like to say I do my lunges, my squats, wall sits, I go for walks, I try to get tons of stretching. So stretching is the main thing, because injuries happen all the time, and I feel like if I keep flexible, I'll avoid that at least a little bit. So yeah, those are pretty much all my off-ice things. Not as much as I used to do when I was playing competitive for sure. But yeah, I still try to get out there and do a few things. Alright, so next question's from Goalie3331. Who was your idol growing up? What other sports did you play? Alright, so my idol growing up, you guys, was Patrick Roy. Probably the same for a lot of you. But yeah, he was just an awesome goalie. Loved the way he played positionally. He revolutionized the game. Yeah, just always idolized him. Just huge influence growing up for me. Had all of his posters, anything I could get of his, I had. Other sports I played soccer for a few years growing up, and then I switched to lacrosse. And those were basically the only other 2 sports that I played in between hockey and training for that, because it was just so involved in hockey. Yeah, that's about it for that. Alright, so the next question we have is from Morgan over at Ice Goalie. What is your hockey history? You've shared some cool facts before, but I think your fans might like to know more. How did you get started in net, and how old were you? What levels did you play? And also, who's your favorite mascot, Gritty or Gritty? Well, the last one I think is pretty obvious. We're going to have to go with the Gritty option. Alright, so my hockey history growing up, I started playing hockey when I was 5 years old. I started as a player, absolutely hated it. I actually wanted to quit, but my dad forced me to keep playing, and he's like, you have to see it through until the end of the season, and if by then you still don't want to play, fair enough, go ahead, stop playing, but you have to see it through. And then sure enough, as the season goes on, and they rotate through the goalies and everyone, it finally came up to be my chance to be goalie, and at the time I loved playing mini stick goalie and stuff like that, and just, it was a blast. So I was pretty excited, I got into the net, and it just felt amazing. That was all I wanted to do, all I could think about. Had to get into net again. So right after that, I went back into the dressing room, and I remember sitting there, and the coach was like, all right, so who wants to be goalie next? And immediately I was like, me, right now. Only pick me. There's nobody else that wants to play goalie as much as me. And sure enough, the next year, they asked who wants to play goalie full-time. I was in there playing goalie full-time. So officially, I started playing full-time goalie at 6 years old. And after that, I played rep most of my life, peewee, bantam, midget. I ended up getting pretty injured during my midget year. Took a break after that, went back, and ended up playing junior B for a while. I ended up getting injured again playing junior. So after that, I stopped playing more competitive style hockey and just played men's league, which our men's league is pretty competitive with a lot of good players in our league. So it's great competition, and I have a blast out there. So yeah, those are the levels of hockey I've played throughout my life. Highest was junior B. Nothing super special or anything, but I had a great time. Yeah, I'm just thankful for where I'm at now. Alright, so the next question we have here, and I hope I pronounce everybody's names right, is from Dimitri Alvarado. Why is your team the Flyers? Aren't you a Canucks fan? And the team you play against that uses the Canucks has the ugliest Canucks jersey ever. Why? All right, so our team's the Flyers because I joined those guys back in 2012. They were the Flyers many years before that, so it was me just kind of hopping in on an open team, getting in when I could. That's the only reason that we're called the Flyers. I am a huge Canucks fan. I have everything Canucks. My dad's a Canucks fan. Posters, jerseys, hats, everything. I am diehard Canucks fan. So yes, I love our name to be the Canucks, but it's not how it is, and I'll just play with what I got. As for their jerseys, personally, they're not my favorite also, but yeah, they picked those ones. They're kind of like, reminds me of like an LA Kings style Canucks jersey, I guess. Yeah, one to their own. I won't go too far into that. All right, so the next question we have here is from Jack Murrin. What type of toe ties do you use and why? Do you tuck your chest or untuck? So for the toe ties, I just use the regular lace that the pad comes with. I've never had a real issue with it. Maybe once the lace comes undone, but besides that, never really had an issue. Another reason I like to use the lace is because I knot it about this far from my pad. I do a knot right here, so I have that much slack. And I find when I'm rotating my ankle, it just takes a lot of pressure off my hips and my ankle because I don't have the greatest hips or knees, mind you, anymore. So yeah, it kind of helps with that. I've considered actually trying using those pro ties, but yeah, just haven't really got into it yet. So for my chest protector, I actually tuck it into the front. I used to not, but these new pants that I have kind of like, they stick up higher and they stick up about more in the front area, so it's easier for me to tuck it in. I actually tie it down in there so it doesn't pop out or annoy me, anything like that. And that way I just find my mobility is still really good, and yeah, I haven't had any issues with it that way. So hopefully that helps. All right, so the next question we have here is from Mike over at Just Your Average Goalie. Would you rather play with no stick and 2 trappers for an entire game, or with a stick and 2 blockers for the whole game? All right, well, I'm not actually, honestly, I would love to try playing with 2 trappers. I mean, like, how sick would that be, making 2 big glove saves on each side, no matter what? I don't know, I think that'd be pretty fun. The 2 blockers sounds like kind of a cool idea too, but I feel like it'd be way easier. You'd be able to cover the puck way easier, and yeah, it would just look sweet being able to catch the puck on both sides. So yeah, definitely I would try the 2 trappers first. So the next question we have here is from Nathan Millsap. Are there any tournaments you play every year? Do you travel for tournaments? So there's no real tournaments that I actually play in every year. Our team does do a Vancouver tournament most years. We didn't do it last year, and then obviously this year with the COVID and stuff, everything's canceled, so nothing this year. But possibly next year, we'll find out during the season though, and we all talk about it. But yeah, it's definitely fun. But the traveling would be just going down to Vancouver, which for me is about 4.5 hours, 5 at max. So yeah, that's about it for tournaments for me though. All right, so next question we have here from Eric Almedo. Would you ever try out any gear, or have you tried any of it? And if so, what are your thoughts? So for me, I actually grew up using Vaughn gear. I played with Vaughn all my life, all through my minor hockey years, even up into junior, I only used Vaughn. Even all my men's league years, I used Vaughn. So this is the first year I actually switched to a CCM pad, and I absolutely love it. I wouldn't go back to Vaughn. I would actually go into the newer CCM pads. They're absolutely phenomenal in my opinion. And yeah, other equipment wise though, glove and blocker, I'm still rocking the Vaughn set, and I absolutely love that set. I love Vaughn glove and blockers. I probably would actually stick to the Vaughn glove and blocker, and if I had a chance another day, maybe getting a matching set of Vaughn glove and blocker with CCM pads. That would just be my personal preference. But yeah, so I'm definitely open to trying different gear for sure. It's always fun to try different things for sure. So yeah. All right, so the next question we have here is from Coach Joe. Skate sharpening. When I get my blades sharpened, I just ask them to sharpen them. But I've heard of some tennies ask for a number or something. Can't even give an example. All right, so for the skate sharpening, I personally get mine hollowed at a 1/2 inch. Which is a fairly sharp skate. I find for that sharpness, I'm able to push still on my shuffle, but I get a really good bite in the ice. You can go sharper, which would be like a 7/16 or a 3/8. That's super sharp. I have tried like 7/16 and it was like a bit too sharp for me. People do drop down. I have seen lots of goalies use like 5/8 or even 3/4 sharpening, depends if they like them a bit duller. I find 5/8 is kind of like a happy medium for a lot of goalies where you could still get a good push off to the side, but also still get a good shuffle and not like destroy your legs doing it at the same time. Yeah, but personally, I do like them a bit sharper. So yeah, I always go with a 1/2 inch, and that's just a deeper hollow on the blade. So yeah, if you had any other questions to go a little further into that at all, just drop it down below and I'll be happy to answer that. All right, so that is all of the Q&A questions that I had received. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this type of video down below. Also, if you had more questions and possibly if we had a bunch more Q&A questions, if you wanted to do another part 2 possibly of this, I'd be open to anything like that. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great week coming up. Keep staying safe, and thank you so much again for watching.